Scientists and historians have some of the knowledge about life on Earth and human history, but not all of it. They are fantastic at what they do, and with just a little information and evidence, they might reach amazing conclusions. You would think by now that scientists would have pretty much explained everything. They have certainly been explaining stuff for a long time, and there is surely only so many things that actually need explaining, right? But it turns out there are some mysterious places that scientists are scratching their heads and wondering how they ever came to exist. We have learned quite a bit about the mysteries of the past, but there are still plenty out there to drive a researcher mad. In this video, we are going on a journey deep into the Earth to look at the 12 most mysterious places scientists still cannot explain. But before we start, please subscribe to our channel Unimaginable and hit the bell icon for more updates. Number 12. Mahana Beach of Hawaii. Mahana is a small isolated bay on the north coast of the North Island of New Zealand. It is one of only 4 beaches in the world with this unusual feature. Because it contains green sand, it is so uncommon. The hue comes from volcanic rock around the beach that creates olivine sand, which has a green tint. The beach is in a cove and framed by an extinct volcano or hard ring known as Mahana Beach. It was formed 49,000 years ago. The tuff ring was formed by volcanic activity that was extremely hot. It has partially fallen away, and the sea is eroding it, making the beach. It has become a popular tourist destination on island of Hawaii, but perhaps not all tourists to this lovely paradise are aware of the tremendous and terrifying collision of water power and heated magma that formed it. Number 11. Temple of Apollo of Greece. It is simple to examine and see where legendary concepts of our ancestors thousands of years ago got their mythical ideas with the modern science we have available today. The oracles at Delphi, housed in the Temple of Apollo, were used by the Greeks and Romans to predict the future. Her predictions were revered and accepted for 2,000 years, making the temple a focal point of religion for that period. Recent study shows that 2,000 years worth of human decisions may have been influenced by someone high on natural gas technology. The temple ruins are located over a fault cross that emits intoxicating vapors, according to geophysical studies. You heard correctly. A woman high on the fumes of natural gas oversaw 2,000 years of human history. If that is not evidence of the power of the human mind and belief, I do not know what is. We have detailed records regarding how the oracle carried out her duties thanks to Greek author Plutarch, who served as a high priest at the temple. The oracle was always a local woman, known as the Pythia, who became the oracle and entered a trance in a modest chamber called the 8010 after becoming so. These trances frequently progressed to delirium, and if she remained in the smoke for too long, she might end up dead. Since the chamber was continuously filled with incense and other smells, it was difficult to distinguish everything that caused delirium. Number 10. Lake Hillier of Australia. Middle Island is an island off the western coast of Australia. There is a lake on the island that is entirely pink in color. Lake Hillier is located on the island, and it is a sailing lake with a narrow seawall separating it from the Southern Ocean. The lake measures approximately 2,000 feet by 800 feet and is encircled by sand dunes as well as pine forests. The pinkness of the water is not an illusion around there, as the water remains pink if you remove a glass of it from the lake. However, scientists believe that Dunaliella salina, a safe-to-swim-in organism known to exist, causes the color. In any case, the Australian government banned it as a precautionary measure. Pilots offer tours over Lake Boga almost every day during tourist season, when approximately 6 flights per day are available for curious travelers. The lake is extremely saline and has about the same salt levels as Dead Sea water. Number 9. Lechuguilla Cave of New Mexico, America. Wind was detected emanating from below the Lechuguilla Cave floor in the 1950s. They determined that there were a series of tunnels beneath the rubble. It would not be until 1984 that researchers would be granted access to look into it. 2 years later, they discovered one of the most massive tunnel systems of the world. They were big enough for people to walk through, and after exploring 120 miles of passageways, explorers have pushed the cave depths to 1,604 feet. These amazing facts make this cave system the deepest limestone cavern in America, the 5th longest cave in the world, and the 3rd longest in the United States. A remarkable find. Cavers from all over the world come to explore its unknown passengers and intrigue. Even its entrance is spectacularly adorned with huge deposits of gypsum and lemon yellow sulfur residue. The existence of chemolithioeutrophic bacteria, which is said to consume sulfur, iron, and extremophile microorganisms and may hold significant medical benefits if exploited, is also another. Getting the germs out of the cave and into a lab environment is difficult. They do not survive long in their own ecosystem. Who knows what new mystery could be revealed by this Madman Cave system? Number 8. Superstition Mountains of Arizona, America. The Superstition Mountains are right up there when it comes to beauty, as they are the second most photographed and artistically reimagined landmark in Arizona. Make sure you pay a visit to these magnificent mountains the next time you are out toward the Grand Canyon. If you have not asked what is the superstition, you have not been paying attention. There are several aspects and stories behind its name, but all of it has been subject to many years of change and lore. To that end, there is no correct answer. The truth is locked away in some grave or the very mountains themselves. According to the head of one of the many museums that died for the mountain landscapes, the mountain has a long and illustrious history, with many names being given to it by various civilizations over the course of time. To claim one name is more official than another is sheer lunacy. The mountain has been known by a variety of names, including Crooked Peak, Foam Mountain, Thunder Mountain, and Superstition Mountains. Number 7. Stonehenge of England. Stonehenge is the most famous of the numerous ancient stone circles found on the island of Great Britain. It is thought to be at least 5,000 years old, and it once served as a healing center as well as a small party location. According to some archaeological remains, it may have been much larger in its heyday than it is now, and many experts have pondered how such an ancient people could have had such an advanced knowledge regarding time, since Stonehenge functions like a huge clock with sunlight breaking through the gap in the stones at solar eclipses. Stonehenge is a well-known monument in the United Kingdom, as well as a popular tourist destination. Although, after some vandalism, the ancient culture that erected it has remained largely unknown. However, it is evident that they were capable of archaeological and technological breakthroughs comparable to those of ancient Egypt Old Kingdom at the time. Since then, many various sorts of druids, which include wizards and hippies, have flocked to the site. It is possible that you'll encounter a few ghosts while exploring the ancient stones. Number 6. Spotted Lake of Canada. The Spotted Lake, which is the most beautiful spa of Canada, has become well known for its spectacular display of color every summer. The Spotted Lake, which is located northwest of Osiris in the Okanagan Valley of British Columbia, resembles any other body of water for the most part throughout the year. But as summer approaches and the water begins to evaporate, a profusion of briny puddles is left behind, giving the lake its distinctive yellow, green, and blue polka dot pattern. The colors in the water are caused by large quantities of minerals left over when the water evaporates. Calcium, salt, sulfates, and magnesium sulfate are the main minerals. The color is determined by the amount of these minerals in each pool. It is now a popular tourist destination due to its beauty. The lake was once considered a holy site by the Okanagan Nation, who regarded different colored circles to be endowed with different curative and therapeutic powers. After several years of exploitation, such as mining it for assaults to make ammunition, the Okanagan Nation reclaimed ownership of the lake. This implies that development or mining projects on the lake will not be authorized in the future. Number 5. Mother Shipton Cave of England. The Cave of Mother Shipton in England is said to become solid when the water flow. I know it sounds like something out of mythology, but there is definitely something odd going on in the cave, and it is not witchcraft, as it was once supposed to be. To explain natural occurrences, science has typically come to the rescue. Mother Shipton was a witch and oracle who foretold the downfall of Tudor dynasty from doomsday horrors and calamities each macabre forecast chanted in elegiac verse. Her most famous forecast claims that Earth will cease to exist in 1881. They were all incorrect, much like other apocalyptists who had seen the end of the world. It is crucial to consider her statement within its historical context. At the time she made it, England would have been the whole world. The local legend says that the woman who lived in this well petrified anything that entered her home, and it has been attracting visitors since 1630. It is one of the oldest sites of tourism of the world, and the water may turn teddy bears, hats, and other textiles to stone with a few months' time. The natural process of evaporation and the extraordinarily high mineral content in the water are to blame. It can certainly petrify items, but not in an immediate way as the stories imply. Number 4. Movile Cave of Romania. Beware of this topic if you are afraid of the dark. Okay, maybe it is not as dangerous as lions, tigers, and bears, but I'll let you be the judge of that. A barren, featureless plain far in the southeast reaches of Romania, near the Black Sea and the Bulgarian border, lies a desolate field. At first sight, the dreary expanse is uninteresting. Nevertheless, with a closer examination, it will reveal a world teeming with life of staggering abundance. Just beneath the barren rock is a cave that has managed to remain cut off from the outside world, including air and light, for an incredible 5.5 million years. The people of this underground city thrived as our ancestors were learning how to create fire and become modern humans. Despite the lack of light and a deadly atmosphere thick enough to kill a person in only a few seconds, researchers are shocked by the prospect of life beneath the surface of the Earth. The cave is teeming with life. Such a harsh environment indicates that life will always find a way. Experts believe they may be in the hundreds of unknown species, including spiders, scorpions, lice, centipedes, and the entirely unknown, though it still remains untouched. Experts are working hard to get inside without disrupting the ecosystem while staying alive at the same time. Number 3. Fairy circles of Southern Africa. Fairy circles have a unique characteristic. Circular barren areas ranging from 10 to 65 feet in diameter may be found among the grasses. There are many of them, and they stretch for hundreds of miles. When viewed from an airplane these days, it appears as if you are looking down a massive polka dot dress. Despite popular belief, a god tiptoeing through the grass is said to have created them. There is definitely something strange about the way they are spaced, which appears too tidy and regulated for nothing but some odd occurrence in nature. Karina Tornita, a mathematician at Rochester Institute of Technology, has been on the case trying to figure out what the real truth about fairy circles is. She is a theoretical biologist at Princeton University who studies patterns in nature and then modifies them to aid in better understanding how nature is able to create complex structures such as fairy rings. This method of examining an enormous territory scientifically is not easy. Karina Tornita has discovered that termites might be a solution, and she believes they may have found one in the construction of nature tireless workers, termites. Every fairy ring seems to hide a termite nest, and these insects have amazing talents for city development. They know how to arrange things out in such a way that everyone receives enough of everything without anyone building on top of another. This growth could be due to a scarcity of water for all the plants, according to other experts. Gaps develop and expand as a result of this. Number 2. Darvaza gas crater of Turkmenistan. You can imagine why this crater was called the Gates of Hell. It is impossible to conceive of all fire being referred to by another name. The Darvaza crater is a 9 meters wide and 30 meters deep hole in Karakum Desert of Turkmenistan. Flames have been spurting from that crater for years, and considering how big the crater is, those flames shooting out are enormous. This is a tragic consequence of activities of man. Soviet researchers constructed a huge digging machine in the crater to find natural gas pockets that had not been processed. They were all discovered, but a lack of caution sparked them before they had a chance to utilize it. The planet had other things in mind, and the shifting sands swallowed the platform whole, leaving its methane veins exposed and rapidly seeping into the atmosphere. Scientists did what any individual would do when they do not know what else to do: burn it. The fiery crater will burn until the thousands of threads leaking methane run out. So sad to see all that natural gas go up in flames. Even with all of our present technology, the fires will eventually subside. Mysteries surrounding new and old remain unsolved. How was it constructed? Who erected it? For what purpose? All mysteries that have plagued mankind thoughts and shaped human history through legend, myth, and tale are still unanswered. Who knows what tomorrow might bring after scientists cannot explain it today? Number 1. Great Skellig of Ireland. The Star Wars franchise is well known for its iconic filming locations, including Skellig Michael, which has previously appeared in the 2015 film The Force Awakens. However, there are additional secrets to discover about this Irish island. It is 8 miles off the coast of Kerry and Portmagee, and the island is completely uninhabited, yet its new star status is poised to generate a major tourism boom. The island has a beautiful range of scenery, including the ancient monastery ruins. It was designated a World Heritage Site in 1996, but the earliest evidence we have of the island dates from 8th century, when Dog King of Westmonster fled to the island after a quarrel with another tribal king. It was also around this time that the monastic complex first appeared, although it may have been erected during the 6th century, making this location quite old. It was dedicated to Saint Michael the Archangel in the 11th century, who served as a sort of model for the angelic army of God. By the 13th century, the monks were forced to flee the island due to increasing weather conditions in Ireland at that time. Pilgrimages, on the other hand, continued till 17th century by particularly devoted individuals. Lighthouses began to be built sometime in the 16th century. It is well known for its large seabird colony as well as its strange type of blue lava deity worshipped there. Well, that is the end of our video. Would you want to visit one of these enigmatic locations? What kind of god would you be interested in if it was your job? Let us know what you think in the comments below, and do not forget to subscribe our channel. See you again soon.